Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. J-Rod Plays here. Just going to do a quick overview of the new Tide of the Shadows event in Hunt Showdown. Right now we're looking at the details so that way we can kind of go over how it works, what's the goal, and I'm going to cover as well the new Battle Pass, the Season Pass. You can buy that for 1,000 Blood Bonds, and there's an upgraded one which comes from some additional stuff, but I only ever buy just the normal one because all the other stuff I'll either get eventually or I'm really not too interested in. Of course, the big thing with this one is the new boss, Rotjaw. It's not a roaming boss, but it does move around the map each time you load in, so it's not a set location every time. And the way that you track them is you'll find these small piles, kind of like bone piles, and they'll have like a black kind of I want to say like a goo, look like a black goo, almost like oil coming out of it, but it's actually like the electric material that she throws at you when you're fighting her. If you interact with those, you'll see that there's like a small stream that comes out, and the stream will point in a direction, and that's the way that you track her. It won't be anything on the map, it'll just kind of point you in the direction. If you follow that direction, you'll find additional bone piles, and then from there you'll eventually run across an area where you'll see that in the corner the icon will pop up and it'll trigger, and if you go into dark side you'll see it'll flash white or red if something's nearby, and a lot of times you'll either find her in the middle of the water or perched on the bank right next to where her spawn location is, so you can get an early shot on her. She does take a lot of damage from dynamite, explosives, and of course you can also use the new bomb lance on her, the wax dynamites, things like that. You have to kind of bait her out of the water so that way she will try to attack, and then you can get shots on her. It's always good to try to kill her quietly though if you can, because what I found is when you're running around on the map and you hear a bunch of commotion, it's obviously that people are fighting Rotjaw, so you can book it over there and usually still the bounty from them, still the banish. They're usually half dead because she does a lot of damage. If you especially get caught in her lightning spray that she has, she'll either spray directly at you or cover an area with it, and if you stand in it, it'll do damage. And then she has the sweep attack when she comes out and bites you, takes about half your health. So it's a pretty potent boss. As people adjust to it, it'll be pretty easy later on, but for right now, now that people are new to it, you're going to find a lot of hunters low health, and that way you can take advantage of that. Then you have the ship altars. They're going to be very similar to the Halloween event, where you had kind of the construct of souls that you would interact with. It's loud. If you destroy it, it gives you less points, so you go up and interact with it. It's not as loud, but it still makes a noise, so you just have to worry about people hearing you interact with those things. Although if you do so in heavy rain, not really many people are going to hear that. Of course, this is the Thundershower that we're talking about here. That's the rain that's going on, and then on top of it, it gets really heavy, and you start to hear like kind of like moans in the background, and you'll know that it's kicking in because also the crows will start taking off. So don't think that hunters are nearby. Usually the crows taking off is all going to be at the same time, so that way you can kind of tell if it's staggered or not. The ducks won't take off, but they're also harder to trigger, so it's kind of like you have beast face. Same thing with the dog kennels and things of that nature. So if you're out there trying to do challenges and you're trying to explode lamps or anything like that, it's an easy time doing that, especially if you're solo. And so from here you can get the pledge marks that allow you to get your new traits, and I'll go over those in a second. With the Primal Smuggler and Grounded Pack, those you get you can get up to 4. You can hold up to 4. You get a banish. You can loot a hunter, and then you can earn 20 points, and that's going to be in the one mission. And of course, if you get Rotjaw, I believe that might even give you one as well. And so you can carry up to 4. Each of the pledges will cost either 1, 2, or I believe 3 is the death cheat. And then the way you get event points are over here, and so you get your 10% increase from picking a specific hunter. And as you look at the hunters, you'll notice that they'll have a little event symbol, and you can see they're already pledged, and this is going to give you additional points, 10%. Then you can take the signee trait, and that's going to be something that you grab from your hunters. The signee trait runs 6, and that'll allow you to get another 10%, so you can have 20%, which is what I'm running around in right now. And I have death cheat. I'm running Tetch, so that's going to be my hunter for the event for the most part, unless I die and I decide to switch to a different one. I like the grounded because I like the shadow. And speaking of that, let me go over really quickly. I'm going to go over the new traits. So Instinct, these are the 2, Instinct and Relentless, for the Primal Pact. Instinct, of course, is going to give you Dark Sight that turns orange when hunters are nearby. So like the edges, whenever you get the vignette on the kind of the effect that you get whenever you go into Dark Sight, that'll turn orange when hunters are nearby within 75 meters. And then Relentless, that one's going to be one that you use every single time, that you can keep buying every single time. And that one, of course, when you get revived, you'll still have your health chunks, so that's nice. The Smugglers have the health restoration increase while in water, and it also increases when you're in heavy rain, not as fast. But the great thing about this is it's like a regen shot. It'll actually increase to the edge of your bar and then keep going. Normally traits like this used to stop if you're missing a bar and you still had to heal. In this case, just get some water, or if you're in heavy rain, just wait and it'll tick you up and get your bar recovered. From there, they can also pick up items and sell them. So if you're low on ammo, or low on hunt dollars, you can pick up contraband weapons. Go in like with a cheap hunter, get a bunch of contraband weapons, and then extract with them. So like if you get like an auto or something, and you can sell it, and that'll help you fund your hunters going forward. I'm, again, running Shadow. Monsters can't see you, but they can still hear you. I just run right through stuff, get to the events quickly to get all to the, get the banish and stuff for my challenges and all that quickly. And I'll let my teammates usually deal with the enemies behind me. I'll only kill the big stuff, like, I'll kill dogs, and I'll kill the armoreds, stuff like that would be in their way. But all the little stuff, I just leave it for my teammates to kill as they come along if they don't already have Shadow. And then Remedy. I don't really use this as much because it's kind of like a situational thing where you interact with a trait and then you trigger a restoration effect that gives your hunters and your teammates health back. I really hadn't had a lot of time to use this, and so I just filled up my last trait spot to get something that was more useful to me, which was going to be, what did I end up taking? I think I took a Serpent, so that ended up being more useful to me. But that's the new traits, the new setups. How they work is you go to a wagon, and then at the wagon you'll see the 3 boxes you can interact with to pick your pledge if you're not already there. Once you pick your pledge, then from there you can interact with one of the 3 traits, the 1 trait, the 2 cost trait, or the 3 cost trait, and 1 or 2 will be the 2 that you saw me highlight, and then 3 will always be Death Pact. Everybody can get Death Pact, which is nice, so you can keep your hunter and keep your progress and not start over again, keep signee, things like that. So it's nice to keep your progression going. Now for the event points, you can always get event points by looting hunters like normal. That's going to be, I think, 8 per hunter, yeah. You can extract with 1 bounty, that'll give you 20 at the end. If you're playing solo and you're playing quick play, Soul Survivor will give you that 20. Banishing boss targets will give you 10. Looting Hunter Corpse, like we talked about. You can investigate clues and rifts, and there's actually quite a bit more, I think, event clues, because I always come up with at least 1 per. Before in the events, they were kind of hit or miss. Ship altars give you 4 if you actually go up to it, and then 2 if you shoot it, and again, it's real loud, so I wouldn't recommend shooting it. And so that's the details of how it works and how the event's kind of set up. I'm just going to go over the battle pass really quickly. And you'll see here you start out with a knife, you get that really quickly. It's a pretty cool kind of a mariner looking knife. Then you get your lore, you get the new toolbox. This is just a deployable toolkit. It's got 2 charges, 1 for you, 1 for another hunter, and it'll just work exactly like a world toolkit that you can carry around with you. Dragon Breath Bolt is for the small crossbow, the hand crossbow. That one fires a little, kind of a burst, kind of like a small mini fireball, and you can set hunters on fire, so it's actually pretty cool. So if you're saving it to burn targets and things like that, or you can force solos to stand back up again by burning them with it, you don't have to worry about carrying around a firebomb with you if you just have that as part of your tools. It's great because the hand crossbow's got moved down to a small slot now, so you can run that with a large slot item. Medical pack is exactly the same as the toolkit. It's just a deployable medical kit. Gives you back 100, so it's a nice kind of flexible way to heal. You can just drop it and heal up real fast, and then your teammates can do the same. So if you like playing support, you can kind of run this as part of your tools and your consumable slots, though. Then, of course, you have the charms. There's some new charms for this event. This one looks pretty cool. Kind of like a little spaceman that turned evil. Then from here, we've got the new bomb lance. It's a waxed frag charge, so it's just like a waxed dynamite. You can throw it and it'll explode in a small area around it, and it's actually good for hitting things submerged in water, so it should be good on Rotjaw. I haven't tried it out yet. Of course, blood bonds are part of it, which is great. You almost get all your blood bonds back whenever you get through these. New item, the Railroad Hammer. This one's going to be kind of like a small mini hammer, similar to the World Axe that you can also have a regular hand axe. This is just going to be like a sledge, and it's got a nice little kind of a flare to it. The new choke beetle is going to make some nice plays if you're somebody who's always having to save your teammates from getting burned. Instead of having to get close and throw a choke bomb, you can deploy a beetle from cover, and then you can choke your teammates. You can also use it to make people move or to figure out where somebody's hiding around corners. If you know somebody's there in a spot where they have a peek that you just can't get to them, just throw this in there, and that way it'll get them to cough, and then you can take your shots using like dum-dum rounds or something that's got pan at them to make them move. We've got the new Army Swift. I'm looking forward to trying this out. I like the new Army, and the only downside, of course, was the slow reload. In this case, you can unload your magazine, pop a new magazine in, or a new clip in this case, and then from there, you're good to go. So really look forward to that one. This one's kind of meh. It's a Nagant. I'm really not the biggest Nagant fan. It's still a good gun, but I just not a fan of the normal Nagant. Another cool one is going to be the Slate Riposte, and so this one is not like a normal bayonet where you do your light attack and you hit them with the gun. This one, if you do your light attack, you'll slash, so you can use this actually to clear like smaller enemies, zombies, things like that out, hives, and you can save the larger attacks and save your stamina for bigger enemies like armoreds. It's a really cool looking Winfield Winnie C, although I tend to like the larger magazine Winnie. This is a nice little Winnie C. So you can use this kind of when you're starting out. If you're doing a prestige and you want to skin, you can always skin it out. Kind of a nice little starting item there. This is what people are most excited about. This is going to be the drilling rifle. So it's going to have two barrels that fire actual rifle shots, and then you're going to have the third barrel, which is a shotgun shot, and then of course you can have variant shotgun ammo. So this one's really nice. I've seen Psycho using it recently with 2 bleed, and then he's using the normal shotgun shells or flechettes, and he uses it to pretty good effect. It's got really good range. The bleed's really nice. The way they've updated some of the new custom ammo in the new update to be a little bit more effective depending on the caliber of the bullet. It's a nice little change, or at least something to kind of shake it up a little bit. I'm not super big of a fan of the incendiary lighting you immediately, but I can deal with it. Corrosive Vessel is a really nice silent spark, so I'm going to be using this for sure. And then you've got some new ammo types for the drilling. Same thing, penny shot for the bosses. A new skin, kind of a zombie, like a flooded zombie looking skin. FMJ, drilling as well. And here's another cool new one. This is the Upper Mat. It's a two-handed pistol, so it's going to be a medium slot pistol. Going to work very similar to the uppercut, and it's got that additional barrel down there for the shotgun. I'm excited to see the kind of range that'll actually use, if it'll actually be more useful than the LeMat shotgun, the normal size, because it's got that additional barrel length, and it's just got a lot of cool variation to it. As you can see, you've got drilling flechette, as we were talking about earlier, drilling slug. The saving aid is just the toolbox skin, so it's just kind of a flare thing. This is the LeMat Upper Mat poison ammo, so you're going to have long ammo that poisons. Also always very nice when you're in that situation, because you get that initial punch and then they can't heal and they gotta hide. Takes them out of the fight quite a bit of time. And you got FMJ, so you can run this in your secondary slot with your drilling, for example, if you have Quartermaster, and then have this here, so when you hit them with your flechette, you can switch over to your FMJ and take shots while they're hiding through whatever material they're hiding through. This is a skin for the med kit, really nice looking skin. This is the skin for the hammer. Doesn't really change it a whole lot. They could have been a little bit more wild with this one, I think. Would have been a better option to kind of have like crazy points or like much more ornate detail, or they could have gone like really like aggressive and kind of devilish looking. They just kind of look simple, so not a fan of the skin, but it's a skin at least. This one's going to be the Swift new Army skin. It looks really cool. I like the tendrils, kind of like an octopus reaching out and around the barrel. Really nice. Whoever was on the art team that designed this did this very tastefully. And then from here, this is going to be the drilling skin. Looks pretty cool. I like how it's like different on two sides. Like this one's kind of got like an alligator bite raised area, and then this one has just kind of like what you would see like as a normal stock design. So it's pretty cool. It's got like a little bit of a difference, almost like you resting this against your body to give you that additional stability. So pretty cool. And then this is going to be the skin for the bayonet slate. It looks kind of, themed appropriately. It's kind of like a driftwood style weapon. I would like them to see go a little bit more along the lines of how the Swift looks, but still not bad. This one here is going to be just a nice charm, a little compass. It's supposed to be like kind of part of the smuggler lore. We'll see if they talk about this later on. This is the new female skin, also kind of a drowned zombie. Looks really cool. This is the upper mat skin. Looks very similar to the uppercut skin. That's got kind of that Indian style kind of a vibe to it. Pretty nice, very well done. And then your bonus charm. And that's pretty much the whole battle pass there. Other than that, you can still go back and you can finish some of your challenges that are available to you in the quest line. Like I didn't finish the Vengeance, so I'm still kind of working on this in the background to kind of get that done, doing what I can. And from here I'm going to start also uploading some videos on the event so you can kind of see what the fights look like, how the rain looks like. I'll just kind of splice some things in the video as well as I'm talking here, but there's just a lot of cool stuff that's available in this particular update, and it's got a lot of time behind it, so it's got like 2 whole months basically to play through. So hopefully everybody gets a chance to get in here and get all the rewards and everything instead of having to wait until next year until they're part of some other event or some Twitch drops. But other than that, thanks very much for watching. I know it's been a while since I've done hunt videos. They just kind of just as far as for me, I got really busy on the Destiny side, so I was making the Destiny content and there wasn't really a whole lot going on. And I got kind of tired of the quest line midway through that I was working on because I had just come off the other quest line. So now I'm going to be back to at least making a few hunt videos here or there as I work through this event. And, hopefully there's something on the end of this event as well to kind of keep the momentum going. I think if the developers at Crytek can kind of string together one event after another with only maybe a week or 2 of downtime in between, you can really revive the game and get a lot of people back into playing the game and increase the player base, because this is just one of the most underrated games out there. So appreciate you guys. Thanks very much for watching the end, and you guys have a good rest of your week.